It has been 6.5 months since I have drank, and I'm doing pretty good. I seem to be healthier. I don't seem to get as sick as often. One of the reasons I'm making this video is because I've noticed this pattern that I've done myself, and a lot of my friends, I see them doing it, and I've seen it a couple times on the internet, especially the thread, the Pointless Waste of Time thread. And that is people setting up safety nets. And it kind of makes me cringe each time because I've done it half a dozen times in my life, and it's always turned out badly. And what I'm seeing is people that say, well, I've quit drinking, and then they'll add in for now. Or they'll say, once I get this under control, then I'll be able to drink again without it, destroying me. The problem is these people quit drinking because they've got a problem, and they've admitted they've had a problem. In doing that, they've recognized that alcohol is affecting them negatively. And I have done the same thing, which is why I've started these videos, and it's why I've decided to kick this thing for life. Problem is they get on this cycle where they drink and drink and drink. And it starts affecting them horribly. It affects everyone around them horribly, and alcohol is a direct cause of that. They know it, they admit it, so they quit, and which is awesome. I mean, if you've got a problem and you know what the source of the problem is, and you can cut out the source of that problem, then, I mean, you've pretty much taken care of the problem. I mean, at least the base and the foundation of it. The problem is, where I see it, you'll get on this vicious cycle of letting that thing take over you, letting the alcoholism take over you. You cut it out of your life, and then once you think you've got control of it, you start it all over again. And that's bizarre. I say that not being condescending to anybody. I say it because I've done it 6 or 7 times in my life. I drank for 22 years. I tried to give it up half a dozen times. Each time, I would always say, well, I'm going to give it up for now, just until I get it out of my system, get it under control, and then I can handle it later. Then what happens is I get right back into it again. I start drinking 3 or 4 beers a night. That goes to 6. My tolerance builds up. I go to 12. My tolerance builds up more. I go to 24 and eventually 30. And the next thing you know, I've drank every night of the week, every month, every year for years on end. It happens every time. It's kind of the whole definition of alcoholism. It owns you, you don't own it. It's dangerous to set up safety nets like that because you're mentally preparing yourself to get back into it. And you can't do that if you got a problem with booze to begin with. There is never going to be a time in your life, ever, when you're able to put it under control, put a leash on it, kill off the problem, and then jump right back into that problem. Again, your body's not made to do that. Some people out there can have a couple drinks with friends or whatever and put it down and never touch it again until, Christmas or a birthday or whatever. We are not those people. I am not. I promise you I cannot. If I drank 1 beer right now, I would have to drink a 12-pack. I would have to. It's not like I'm setting out consciously saying, oh my fucking God, I've got to have a whole 12-pack right now. It just happens. There's something in whether it's my genetics or my psychological makeup or what, that makes me that way. But I am. And it's not just me. It's everywhere you look. Look at case after case after case of alcoholism. Look it up on the net. Look up anybody who's trying to give it up. They all have the same thing in common, which is they can't control it. Giving up alcohol does not mean that you have controlled the alcoholism. It doesn't. All it means is you were able to put it on hold for a little while. And jumping back into drinking it is going to be a train wreck. It's going to be every time. So setting up that safety net by saying, I'm going to quit for now, all it does is it puts your mind at ease, saying, well, this is only temporary. I implore you to get that out of your head. Because if you have that in your head, there's not really much of a point to quitting in the first place, other than to just temporarily detox yourself. The other thing that I've been seeing is people setting goals, which is awesome. But one of my friends online had made the point of being careful about setting long-term goals. And what he meant by that is don't just set up one long-term goal for yourself. You can't set up one that just says, I'm quitting for life and that's your goal, because you're never going to meet the end of that goal until you die. What he means is you need to set up a bunch of short-term goals, something to keep you going. If you're trying to quit for life and your goal is, I'm going to quit for this month, you've got 30 to 31 days in there to think about that goal, and it just takes forever. You don't get the satisfaction of reward for a long stretch of time. And you need to be rewarded. You need to train yourself into thinking, this is my new lifestyle. This is the lifestyle I was meant to have to begin with. This is the lifestyle that's going to make me a better, more functioning human. Things like making sure you get through the day are much more realistic. At the end of the day, you're rewarded with that satisfaction knowing you did own the problem, and that you did defeat it for that day. Mine is kind of like that. I go through day by day goals and I meet them. Mine, I like to own the moment. On the way in to get gas, right next to the gas station I go to, there is a liquor store. As I pass it, occasionally the urge to go in and just buy a 6-pack or a 12-pack hits me. And at that moment, I have to be able to recognize that there's a weakness and kick its ass before it overtakes me. Because what happens is, another thing that I read on the thread that we've got going on at the crack forums, is somebody who had mentioned that they had quit smoking. And they went out and spent $7 on a pack of cigarettes and then had to convince themselves not to smoke it because, hey, I've just spent $7 on cigarettes. I don't want to waste this. I don't want to just throw that money away. And that is a very realistic problem that we go through as well. So we will go to, if I don't overcome that weakness in passing the liquor store, and I just say, fuck it, I'm going to go in without thinking about it, I grab a 12-pack and I come out, now I've got to battle the fact that I've got that beer right in front of me. And logic, though it's a false logic, logic is telling me, hey, you just spent money on this, now you've got to drink it. You don't want to just waste it. You can't just give the beer away to somebody else, or you can't throw it away. Otherwise, you might as well have just been taking $7 to $10 and throwing it in the trash can or setting it on fire. So it's important to train your brain into thinking about those moments, recognizing them, catching them, and shoving a foot up its ass before it overtakes you. So right now I'm at the point to where whenever I pass a liquor store and that little trigger goes off in my head that says turn left, go inside, I have to, my brain immediately has that alarm that goes off and says, no, you need to get to the gas station, put gas in your truck, and get the fuck home now. Because if not, you're going to buy it and you're going to be in that cycle. So make sure that if you have any goals that are short term, have that one. Have that training as an actual goal, where you're going to exercise your mind and train it into catching those and putting a stop to them. And once you have that alarm system set up, you won't even have to think about it anymore. As you pass a liquor store, that alarm goes off and says, you're in danger, you need to get the hell out of here now. That alarm system has kept me going for over half a year now. I also wanted to wish, I'm probably pronouncing the nickname wrong, but he goes by the name Yowhound on the boards. I wanted to wish him best of luck with his surgery. He is getting a liver replacement done here in the next couple weeks. And it's awesome to see you doing so well and battling the cravings. I know you drank for longer than I did, and you drank the hard shit, whereas I just drank my little pussy American beer. But I do wish you the best. You're one hell of an inspiration, and I hope that you keep inspiring the rest of the people in that thread, because guys like you make it a little bit easier for guys like us. Thank you.